in front of you, and today we are going to begin your snapshot. And today we will study the first chapter from your book, and the name of the chapter is The Portrait of a Lady. The Portrait of a Lady, let's first have a glance of this particular chapter. In this chapter we will talk about a lady who is very old. What is the impact of the lady with the current present generation? This story revolves around three generations. The one is grandmother, the second one is the mature, and the last one is the childhood. So all these three sections we will study in this chapter. So without wasting even a single minute, let's talk about the chapter. So my grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. So writer is just talking about the grandmother. Usually what happens when we see any grandmother, she have a same appearance, same dull skin, wrinkles skin, and grey hair. So same was the case with the grandmother. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. So now the writer is saying that he is actually knowing to her from last 20 years, and from the last 20 years she looks same. There is extremity of everything we know. After the extremity, there is nothing. So there is extremity of an old age too. When you became old, then there cannot be more old age. So same was the case with the grandmother. She was actually extreme old. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. So actually the writer had known her from her childhood. Okay, he didn't have seen the young age of the grandmothers. That's why he is saying it's very hard to believe that how can this particular old lady be a very young, very beautiful in her youth, and how can she have a husband, as the writer didn't witness the youth of that lady. Okay, got my point? So my grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban and loose fitting clothes. Now the writer is narrating something about the grandfather. His face, his portrait is there over the mantelpiece in the drawing room, and he was wearing a turban and a loose fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. So just as it was visible in the photograph that his grandfather was approximately 100 years old, he is looking 100 years old, as he is having a very long beard that is covering the best part of his chest. Okay, he didn't look the sort of person who could have a wife or children. Nobody can guess after looking at that snapshot that this particular person could have a wife or a children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother, being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. So it appears from his personality that he could only have grandchildren and grandchildren and grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. So this thought is also contrasting the fact she often told us the games she used to play as a child. So just as a child, what happened in the ancient time, in old time, we used to play some household games, not like today's. So she often told us of the games that she used to play as a child that seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. So what happened? We used to listen stories from our grandparents, grandmother, grandfather. So same was the case also with the narrator. He also used to listen the stories of the prophets. She had always been short and fat and slightly built. Now physical appearance of the grandmother, she was short in height, means not very tall at all, and she was very fat and also slightly bent. As in the old age, we don't look like a straight, we don't have a straight body because of the physical weakness. So same was the case with the grandmother. She was also looking very bent at that time. Her face was the crisscross of the wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. This is also in the old age, symptom of the old age, wrinkles all over the body, all over the skin from top to end. Now we were certain she had always been, as we had known her, old, so terribly old, that she could not have grown older. That's I told you in the beginning, extremity. There is extremity, and beyond extremity there is nothing. Now she is in the extremity of the old age. Okay. So old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older and had stayed at the same age for the 20 years. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. The writer is saying that she could not have pretty. I cannot imagine that she can have a pretty face. Okay, so she hovered about the houses in a spotlight white with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop and other telling the beads of the rosary. So she is having a rosary beads in her hand and one hand over his waist to balance her weak body. So this was the physical appearance. Once again we are getting the physical appearance of the grandmother only in these lines also. What we used to see that the grandmothers they used to bend, physically weak, that's why they are bent, and they have rosary in their hands. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. Now the writer is explaining about the childhood of his own. He is saying that when his father, his parents, they got some opportunity to live in the city, they left me with my grandmother to live. So I have passed my childhood with my grandmother. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for the school. So what happened in the morning? She used to wake me up in the morning and used to instruct me to get ready for the school. She said her morning prayer is in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know how it by heart. So usually when we are a child, when we are a kid, we are not interested in worshipping gods. We don't have any interest in worshipping God, in learning prayers, in learning any shloka from Sanskrit. Okay, so it looks odd to the writer. And why she used to do so? She used to do so only from the point of view that this particular boy, my grandson, could learn all these things by heart. So this was the case. Okay. Now, I listened because I loved her voice, but never bothered to learn it. As writer was very much attached to the voice of the old lady, that's why he listened all the shlokas very properly, but he never bothered himself for learning them. Got my point? Okay, so then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot and a red pen, tied them all in a bundle and handed it to me. It means that what happened in the childhood, when I was a kid, I actually didn't study like this, but so many people of my age who are more older than me, they used to study like this, slate covered with black carbon, okay, with a chalk over it. They used to study like this. So this was the case with the writer's childhood study. After a breakfast of a thick stale chapati with a little butter and a sugar spread on it, we went to school. So what happened after the breakfast of a thick stale chapati? He is having a very thick chapati with all over refined ghee on it, with sugar over it, and he make a roll of that, and he used to eat that. We went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her on the village dogs, and she also used to spare those things to the stray dogs also. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. So this once again a characteristic of the old lady. The old lady, they used to sit together to sing the bhajans, okay, often in the courtyard of a temple. So there was a temple beside the school of the writer, and the grandmother, she used to go there and she used to sing that the precious, the pious bhajans over there, and the writer, he used to study over there in the school. The priest taught us the alphabets and the morning prayers, while the children sat in the rows on either side of the veranda singing the alphabets or in the prayer in a chorus. So what happened in the childhood? You must have studies like this: 2 1 ja 2, 2 2 ja 4. So this was the chorus that we used to recite while our schooling is going on in the childhood. So same was the case with the with this particular boy. He used to listen, he used to learn all the things like this in his childhood. So when we had both finished, we would talk back together. The time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door, they followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. So what happened? The animals are very familiar to those who loves them. So it was actually in the habit of the grandmother to throw the chapatis to the dogs. So that's why the dogs were very much familiar to the grandmother, and they used to come to eat those chapatis thrown by the grandmother. So same happened over here. They growled to each other and they quarreled to each other to get the chapatis. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. Sent for. What is sent for? Sent for is a phrasal verb, dears. And sent for means called. I hope this may be a typical word, sent for. So my parents were comfortably settled in the city. When my parents, they settled over there in the city, they called us, and that was a turning point in our friendship. Now the friendship between the author and the grandmother is now on its broken step. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. And now he is describing the condition of the school. Like you all are coming to the school through school bus, through school conveys. In the same way, the writer was also going to attend his school with school bus. Now there is no company of the grandmother with the author. So this was the case with the grandmother, author's childhood history. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our upcity house. So now there were no dogs at all, there were no chapatis at all, but she has got an opportunity to interact with the birds. Now she was interacting, she didn't forget her good habits, and now she is feeding the birds, she is feeding the sparrows. Okay, coming to the next paragraph. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. So as the time is passing, the relation is going weaker day by day. They don't used to see each other again and again. Now, for some time she continued to wake me up and get me ready for the school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. So she didn't have forgot her lifestyle. She was asking, now at present also she was asking what had been taught in the school, what have you learned from school. She was expecting that in this school also you are going to learn some shlokas, some Sanskrit scriptures, valuable scriptures from there, but it was not there in the schools. Now what the students are learning? They are learning Archimedes principle, they are learning some squares, some polynomials at all. So this was also case with the grandmother, with the grandson, and the grandmother was not happy with it, as she was expecting that I want to teach something moral to you, and this was not followed by the school authorities in the city. So this was the case over there. She didn't believe in the things that they taught at the English schools, and was distressed that there were no teaching about God and the scriptures. The same I told you. One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. She was very disturbed. Now, music lessons are also a part of the school culture. We are learning music at a school. We used to participate in the chorus. We used to participate in the solo performances. So she was not in the favor of all these things. She was saying that all these things are not. They should not be taught in the school premises. Okay, these are not the good things. So one day when I announced that we were giving music lessons, she was very disturbed. To her, music had lewd association. It was the monopoly of the harlots. Harlots means the characterless females. Okay, so the music is a part of the harlots. Harlots means characterless females, and beggars not mean for the gentle folk. What is the conception? It is actually a question in your exercise. What is the conception of the grandmother regarding music? So regarding music, she is saying that music is not the characteristic. It should not be meant for the gentle folks. Gentle folk means for the good people like you all are. Got my point? Now next, she said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. When the writer informed her that in the school we are learning about music, though she didn't interrupt, but there was a silence on her face, and this actually disturbed the writer a lot. She said nothing but her silent means disapproval. She rarely talked to me after that. When I went to the university, I was given a room of my own. Now the writer is talking about the mature life, like college life. Now he has gone to attend the university. There was his own room over there in the hostel. Okay, the common link of friendship was snapped. Now that common link which was there between the grandmother and the grandson was totally broken, was completely broken. So my grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. Means she was totally busy with spinning something. She didn't forget her habit. From sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel spinning and reciting prayers. So it was actually customary. It was in the habit of the old people. They used to spin wheels and used to sing a lot regarding gods. So while she sat in the veranda breaking the bread into the little bits, hundreds of the little words collected round her, creating the veritable bedlam of the chirpings. Veritable bedlams of chirping. A hard phrase once again. It means they were talking a lot, they were making noise a lot, and they were eating the things that are thrown by the grandmother for them. Words, okay, their words. So some came and perched on her legs. So actually, animals are the true friends. You cannot find true in human beings, as human beings are very selfish. They have their own motives only. They will attach to you only when you are. They have their own selfish. Okay, some selfishness is there in the relation everywhere. Everywhere there is no such word like friendship. Okay, I taught you so many times. So once again over here, look. Some came to perch on her legs, others on her shoulders, some even sat on her head, and she smiled but never shooed them away. It used to be the happiest half hour of the day for her. Feeding the words was the biggest happiness for her, and it is actually the best half an hour that she was spending in the entire day. Okay, so when I decided to go abroad, now the writer is talking about further study. He has gone to abroad study. Okay, so now when I decided to go abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. I would be away for 5 years, and at her age, one could never tell, as she was extreme old. So nobody can actually claim that in the next round I will be able to meet her. Maybe she is no more. So same is the feeling over here. He is saying that I would be away for 5 years, and at her age, one could never tell. But my grandmother could. She was not even sentimental. When at the departing time, she was not sentimental at all, and she came to leave me at the railway station, but didn't talk or show any emotion, as she has got victory over her emotions. So that's why she didn't show any emotions. Her lips moved in prayer. Still, her lips were moving in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. Silently she kissed my forehead. So there was a kiss that was given to the grandson by the grandmother on his forehead, and it shows a true affection, true love between two people. Got my point? Silently she kissed my forehead, and when I left, I cherished the moist imprint as perhaps the last sign of the physical contact between us. So that kiss was nothing but the last physical contextual sign between the grandmother and the grandson. Okay, I hope you are getting the points that I am delivering right now. Now next para. So but that was not so. After 5 years I came back home, and I was met by her at the station. So writer was expecting that I will not be able to meet her after returning from foreign. But when he returned from foreign, once again grandmother was in front of him. Okay, she was very lucky. She didn't look a day older. As I already told you in the beginning, extremity, there is an extreme line, and after extreme line there is nothing. So she didn't look a day older. She still had no time for words, and while she clasped me in her arms, I could hear reciting her prayers. So when she embraced him, still the writer could listen the prayers that she was reciting at that particular moment. I could hear the reciting of prayers even on her first day of my arrival. Her happiest moment was with the sparrows with whom she fed longer with the frivolous rebukes. Okay, so once again the same line. She was the happiest moment was that she has spent with the words. Is it clear? In the evening, a change came over her. She didn't pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum and started to sing. But there was a change that day. A change came. And what was the change? She was going to enjoy music. Regarding music, she had told us earlier that it is a characteristic of the harlots. But at present, she was going to enjoy that. Why? We are going to get it. So she didn't pray. She collected the women of her neighborhood, got an old drum and started to sing. For several hours she thumped the sagging skins of the dilapidated drum and sang of the homecoming of the warriors. She talked about the homecoming warriors. She sang about the homecoming warriors. We had to persuade her to stop to avoid overspending. As she was enjoying a lot, she was completely lost in her singing. That's why they have to interrupt her to stop her singing, as it could damage her physical. It could increase her physical weakness. Okay, so that was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. So it was the first time from the beginning up to the end of the writer's life when she didn't pray. Okay, that day she didn't worship God. The next morning she was taken ill. And it was a mild fever, and the doctor told us that it would go. So what happened next day? There is a saying that before our death, if you are suffering from any dangerous disease, any fatal disease, if you are not able to stand on your own, even then, before some hours, you will have extreme power. You will realize a extreme power in yourselves, and you will be able to stand on your own, like my father also. Just before some hours when he passed away in 2009, 2 hours before he left his bed, went to veranda and sat over there on the chair. So same was the condition with the grandmother over here. Look, she was taken ill, though just a day before she was singing a lot, enjoying a lot, and another day she became ill. It was a mild fever, and the doctor told us that it would go. They were expecting that this mild fever will definitely go very soon. It was their expectation. But what happened? But my grandmother thought differently. Grandmother was realizing that now her end has come. She told us that her end was near. She told us that her end was near. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray. So it was, how can she forget to pray at the very last moment of her life? How could she forget? Now she is putting a question to herself. She is saying, how could I forget to pray just before some few hours of my life? She was not going to waste any more time talking to us. So that's why she informed us, now I will not waste even a single moment of myself. I want to devote myself thoroughly to God. I want to recite my prayers by heart. I want to enjoy the pleasure of worship, the pleasure of faith in myself. Okay? So we protested, though we protested against it, but she ignored and protested. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. So at the time of worshipping, she passed away. The rosary left from her hand. The moving lips that she was reciting some prayers, they stop suddenly. This indicates that she is no more. A peaceful pallor spread on her face. We knew that she was dead. If you look at any particular dead body of a person, you will realize a paleness on his skin, on his face. Same paleness, energylessness, same charmlessness is there on the face of the grandmother. Okay? So we lifted her off the bed and, as is customary, laid her on the ground to cover her with a red shroud. What happened in the Hindu mythology? We used to give a white shroud. As she was a devotee, she was given a red shroud. Okay? Shroud, I think you know, the last cloth that we used to wear. After a few hours of the morning, we left her alone to make arrangement of her funeral. So, as it happened, when somebody passed away, for some hours, for some minutes, we used to cry very loudly. But as the time passes, we forget all. This is the true reality of life. Even when my father was dead, I have taken tea, I have taken snaps, I have taken the dinner that day. Just imagine. That's what I am delivering. Nobody is there for you. Everybody is selfish, my dears. So focus on your aims. That's what I want to say. Okay. Now coming to the concluding paragraph. Don't get emotional. The sun was setting and had it light her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. We stood halfway in the courtyard, all over the veranda and in her room, night up to the where she lay dead and stiff wrapped in the red shroud. Thousands of the sparrows sat scattered on the floor. So what I told you, if you want to realize true friendship, make a friendship with an animal. You will definitely get the real friendship, the meaning of real friendship from an animal. No human is there for you for a true friendship. Got my point? Once again, see over here. Thousands of the sparrows were there in her last journey. Thousands of the sparrows. And they were not eating even the scattered food that was thrown by the grandson and his father. Okay? When we carried my grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly, and next morning the sweeper swept the bread crumbs into the dustbin. What happened next day? When they didn't eat the food that was thrown by the writer's father and writer's himself, when the birds didn't eat, next morning when the sweeper came, he swept all the foods and threw that food into the dustbin. See, this is a true friendship. You will not get from the human beings. Okay? Now, this is all for the chapter, I hope. Yes, chapter has been, now we have done the chapter. I hope that you have learned a lot, dears. I hope you enjoyed the chapter, dears. Though I know that it was a very rapidly I explained the things. But you know the things, I have to sum up the things in half an hour. So that's why I was in too much hurry. Otherwise, if you still have any doubts regarding any line from anywhere in the chapter, in any typical word, in any hard words, you can put me there in the WhatsApp groups. Okay? So till then, stay home, stay safe, and keep smiling, keep learning with me. Abhay Shukla. Thank you.